Hello folks, it's been a long time. Thought we'd give you a video update here. Things have been slow going on the Triton. As you can see right there, still down for a winter nap under some blankets. So because of that, and with the incumbent fishing season in Ontario upon us, Father and I decided it'd be a good course of action to maybe look into picking up a temporary ride for this summer. Just something to fish out of to get us through this season, so we can try and get the main Triton project tidied up over the next winter, now that a lot of life's big issues have kind of settled down a bit. So after some looking around on the internet, Kijiji, Bojiji, Facebook Marketplace, we found a pretty good looking package that was just 20 minutes down the road. So we went and had a look at it and talked to the guy a little bit and decided to pick it up. And what we ended up buying is right here. So this is a 1997 Stratos 201 Pro Elite. 201 Pro Elite. Oh, maybe the brake's in the way there. Looked great on paper. But you know us. We can't just get something that you can just drop in the water and go fish out of. After the deal was made, we've come into some realizations about the boat, about how it might need a little bit more work than we had previously anticipated. So with that being said, we'll start at the bow of the boat and we'll do a walkthrough on it. I'll kind of tell you what we got for our money, just give you a little walkthrough on the boat, and then we can get into how maybe we got screwed a bit. But yeah, anyways, let's go have a look at this thing here. So it's a 97, so the top cap was a little sun faded on it. The previous owner had gone ahead and re-gel coated just clear on the top cap here, because it was sun faded and it's got a lot of stress cracking. Would you call it stress cracking, or yeah, crazing, checking, stress cracking? But it's very heavy. But unfortunately, that's just cosmetic. It's just the nature of a 25-year-old gel coat. So that was one of the major things that we first noticed on this boat. Fortunately, it did come with a new, not brand new, but new enough where it's still under warranty, Ultrex. He had just recently recarpeted the boat, which is very nice. The trailer is a little bit worse for wear, but you know what? Whatever. It's a boat trailer. It's just going to be getting dunked in the water anyways. Single axle trailer. Wish it was a tandem, but that's okay. I'm just going through right now, trying to work on doing a little bit of wet sanding and polishing on the gel. Like, I don't know if it'll show up in the video, but I have wet sanded and polished this area here, which is a big improvement on just the bare gel that I think it might have just been sprayed and never cut and polished. The previous owner had the seats recovered recently. They look pretty good. They are starting to show a little bit of wear. Came with the Mercury SmartCraft gauges, which are nice. It's got a Garmin at the helm. I think it's got a Lowrance at the bow. Nothing too special there. Pardon me? Oh, is it Humminbird? Humminbird at the bow. And then on the back of it, it came with a 2010 Mercury Optimax ProXS. Good motor from what I understand. We'll get more into that in just a sec. It's got an Atlas hydraulic jack plate on it, which is really cool. That should be fun to play with. And it's got new batteries. I would lift this, but I don't feel like moving that right now. But it's got new batteries in there, a new NOCO. This is a 3-bank or 4-bank charger? 3-bank charger. And yeah, overall, like for a what I would consider a reasonable price, a pretty good 21-foot fishing package that should have been just drop in the water and go ready, or that's at least what we were told. Prior to us purchasing it, it was inspected by a certified Mercury mechanic. With us being slightly mechanically inclined, you know, we figured, okay, if it's getting looked over by a certified Mercury tech, we should have no worries. We shouldn't have any doubts or questions that the motor is solid. That was the hinging factor on the purchase. The entire purchase was contingent on the motor being in top-notch shape. It only has 380 hours on it, which is reasonably low for these motors. So we trusted that the certified marine tech that looked at this, or certified Mercury tech that looked at this, was going to do a thorough and good job. We got the boat home after the purchase and just started doing some routine maintenance on the motor, just doing a look over and getting familiar and stuff. And that's when we started noticing some things that were maybe a little bit suspicious. You can talk, like, yeah. What do you want to say? Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, okay. So the first thing we did was pull the lower unit, just because it's really easy to check over. You should always make sure that you're gonna, one, not have water in your gear case that's gonna, you know, destroy your lower unit, and two, we wanted to make sure that, you know, the motor was gonna pump water. So generally speaking, with outboards, we always just go ahead and just put a new impeller in it because we have no known history with this impeller whatsoever. So it's always nice just to put just a factory Mercury or Evinrude or Yamaha or whatever have you impeller. That way you know you got a brand new one in it, and in 2 years time you can say to yourself, okay, yeah, that impeller's been in there for 2 years, maybe I should consider putting a new one in. When we drained this lower unit, it looked pretty good on the first few mils of oil that came out, and then there was quite a bit of water. So that's when we made the decision to actually pull the lower unit out to have a look at it, because obviously that's a sign that maybe it's not sealed up if it's letting water in. When we did pull it, we noticed that coming down the drive shaft and onto the top of the impeller housing that there was a ton of DFI oil, which basically caused us to have a look up the lower leg here, up this hole here, and we have surmised that would that be the lower crank seal? Is that what you call that? Yeah. The lower crank seal for the motor is leaking. It's letting oil out of the crankcase of the motor down the leg, and it's resting on top of the impeller housing. So that was our first red flag. So that caused us to have a little closer look around the motor, because someone probably should have noticed that. At that time, we did start having a look around in the top end area here. I noticed a ton of shrapnel from a belt coming apart previously. And unfortunately with that, when they do come apart, the plenum here for the air intake into the motor is just wide open. There's no screens, there's no air filter, there's no nothing. So when a belt comes apart, it can definitely go in there. And then once we pulled the belt off, oh, here, we'll just, Father just wants to show here.
This is the actual plenum area here that feeds the compressor from the front there.
Yep.
So all the rubber going into the intake there travels through this and ends up here. Going down there, you can see there's rubber accumulation inside that.
I don't know if the GoPro will show it, but
intake fitting for the compressor as well.
Yeah. So that leads us to the compressor. We did get looking at it, and now that we have the belt off of it, These compressors are, especially the silver bodied ones, this is the first generation of these compressors, are notorious for failure, mainly for the crank bearing inside them. And I'm not sure if this will pick up on the GoPro, but you can hear that the crank bearing in this is gone. Yeah, quite bad. So that is the air compressor that pressurizes the air for the injection system for the fuel rails, is either failed or very close to complete failure. And when those come apart, it's catastrophic. It sends all types of metal bits from the compressor all through your oiling system and into the injection system of the motor, which was one of the huge faults of these motors. So the unfortunate truth is that this motor, at the very least, it needs a compressor put on it. Those are about, by the time you get it to Canada, like $2,300 plus our labor. It needs the crank seal in the bottom end of the motor, and then yes, the power head does have to come out because I can't really show right now on camera, but the main, what is that called? The main power head gasket is leaking. It's bad. It's dried out. It's letting water weep out from between the leg and the power head. So the power head's got to come off. It needs a new compressor. Maybe it needs the lower unit sealed up. Hopefully the particulate fragments, shards of the crank in the compressor coming apart haven't made their way through the motor and gone through the injectors and destroyed any of these injectors. The injectors are like $500-600 a piece. So yeah, they all need to be cleaned and checked.
The compressor's failing.
Yeah, just
stuff needs to be gone through. The
right.
Need to be cleaned. Injectors need to be cleaned, flowed, tested.
Right. So yeah. So because this is failed, all these need to be flowed and tested and cleaned at the very least. Hopefully, none of them need replacement. So with that being said, there's probably, $3,500 to $4,000 worth of, parts, depending on where we can get them, if we can get them. That is the next problem that we're encountering, is that nowhere stocks these compressors. We're calling around all over the place. In Canada, the tentative next availability date for the backorder stuff from Merck is like mid-May, but from what we hear, that's probably not a realistic date, and it'll likely come and go with that date being pushed back, probably looking more like the middle of the summer. So because of this not being checked properly where it was checked, if it was checked, this could be like another fishing season gone for us. That being said, if I do post this video, or when I do post this video, if anyone watches this and you know where we can get a second gen, and I'll put the part number that we're looking for in the description, compressor for this motor, if you have a in stock, hands on, I will, man, I don't know, I'll frickin' PayPal you a finder's fee or something, because that's the biggest piece. If we could have a compressor readily available, I mean, we could install a compressor on this thing in an afternoon. It's just that they are, one, very expensive. Fortunately, the previous owner of this boat, he's been great to deal with, and he's agreed that he'll reimburse us for the cost of the compressor, and we're more than happy to do all the labor of the install and stuff like that. It's just a matter of getting our hands on one right now. So yeah, so that's the update as far as what was going to be the 2023 fishing package. It's hopefully still gonna be. We just have some issues to work through, but at least we love a project. We love a project here at Holmes Marine.
Don't love her that much.
We don't love her that much. We would love to just go fishing. But yeah, we're gonna at the end of the day, this thing's gonna be leaving our shop better than it came in, and hopefully, the next owner doesn't have as many problems with it as we might. So yeah, just wanted to give you guys a quick update as to what's going on in the shop, and that's it. We'll keep you up to date. I'll plan on maybe continuing to do a video series on getting this thing fixed up, and yeah, any advice or secret part sources you have for Mercury motors, or just any general knowledge that you have on the 2010 Optimax ProXS 250 or any like, it would be much appreciated. So throw that down in the comments if you've got experience with these things, stuff to look out for, maintenance stuff. And as always, yeah, thanks for watching the videos, and we'll see you again soon.